Hi everyone, Diana Rankin here. This is the messages, the psychic messages, and perhaps a prediction or two for August the 13th to the 19th. Thank you so much for joining me again this week. For those of you who keep coming back, I'm very grateful to you. And for those of you who tell your friends about me and spread the word, thank you so much. For those of you who are new, welcome. We're so glad to see you. I am sitting here in my backyard, and I'm going to just be quiet for a moment and let you hear the music of what is happening here. Can you hear the cicadas singing? Thank you for those of you who wrote and said that you could hear the background music. I'm so grateful you could. You may hear a bird or two, and we may even have a butterfly flitting by. Who knows? That happens on these videos, doesn't it? Oh my, this energy is just really, really intense, and it's going to increase the intensity. Uh, I believe it was last week I said, and certainly in the August video, I said that this is really going to be quite a month. Well, yes, it is. And this last few days has really ramped up the rhetoric between a couple of men who have their fingers on or a little too close to the nuclear buttons. Are we going to nuclear war? I don't think so, at least not this week, because I think there are enough sensible minds who will prevail. But certainly what is happening in the US, what is happening in North Korea, is affecting the entire world. And right now, the world is a bit crazy. So I think we can not yet relax and say we're going to avoid nuclear war, but let's do everything that we can to create a world of kindness and love and helping each other to keep this from happening. You know, I always say that there's nothing that brings a country together like war or some form of terrorist attack. So let's hope that our current president, who has the lowest approval ratings of any president in history, or certainly in modern history, uh, doesn't use a war to bring the country together. Let's each of us work remembering love is an action verb. Love isn't just namby-pamby romantic, oh, let's feel this, oh, good, good. Love is action. And by that I mean smile at the clerk who's taking your money from the groceries. Smile at the guy who cut you off in traffic and say, bless you. We've got to dispel some of this anger and this fear that's going around. You know, I love the Course of Miracles, and I studied it way back in the 80s, I believe. But one of the things that I remember the most about the Course of Miracles is, or A Course in Miracles, not of, excuse me, A Course in Miracles. One of the things I remember the most about it is we have, and I love the simplicity of this, we have love and we have hate, and that's it. Or excuse me, love and fear. Every emotion comes out of either love or it comes out of fear. And I remember that so well because I love, again, the simplicity of thinking about that. It's very complex when you really look beneath the simplicity of it. And so everything we are experiencing, everything we're feeling is either coming out of love or fear. And if we remember that, we can turn almost all of our emotions back into love and kind of suffocate, tamper down the fears. That's not to say just stuff them. No, no. But what we're trying to do in the world, and we have to start with our own lives, is to replace our fears when they come up for love. And we do that with action, is to replace when someone says something on Facebook that is putting down another human being. Counter that with a good deed, how we want to not be frightened of that person, but to love their soul. You know, there's an old saying that goes way back, and it's like, how does it go? You know, forgive the sinner, or hold the sinner responsible, but hold the sin responsible, but forgive the sinner. Something like that. But that's the idea, that at the core, we are all beautiful human beings. We are all spiritual beings, but we're having these individual human experiences. And for my blog coming up, and if you would like to receive my blogs, just you can go to the website below and sign up. It's free. It's the newsletter, so just sign up for that. But on this blog, what I'm going to explain are the 4 stages of soul. And those 4 stages of soul, if we look at that and compare it to our human life, where we have the newborn, that's just a soul that is experiencing life for the first time in this dimension here on planet Earth. And so there, you know, everything is exciting and new, but there's also a great deal of selfishness that babies need taken care of. And then we have the teenager. Well, teenagers, not all, but many teenagers are usually pretty selfish. And then we have the more mature soul, which is the parent, and the adult. And adults, again, depending upon how many times that adult's gone through this, we have the adult soul that is not yet full of the wisdom that the old soul will have. So there's a very quick, I'll go through it much more in the newsletter article, so do sign up for the newsletter. But keep in mind, the point of it is we're not all old souls. So we all are coming from one of these perspectives of the very young soul, the teenager, the mature adult, or the old soul with wisdom. And so that old soul is probably about 20% of the population, and even that's on a continuum. So we have to have patience with all of our other selves. We have to have patience with, and we have to have compassion. And so those of us who are able to give the compassion, and those of us who are able to act in a way that's loving and in a way that creates peace in the world, we have a responsibility to do that in whatever our chosen field, and however we speak up, and however we put love out into the world. We have a responsibility to do that, and I can't tell you how important that is right now. So just remember, love is an action verb. It's not just a namby-pamby. This is not going to be the easiest week. The next couple of weeks are going to be very, very intense. They're going to be intense in our human world, because the energy of that solar eclipse is coming up. But it also, that means that gives us, we've just had the full moon. We are approaching the spectacular meteorite show. And then we've got that solar eclipse that's going to pretty much be seen throughout the U.S. We need to hold people responsible in our private lives and in the public life. However, at the same time, again, we don't want to spread fear. And I can't stress that strongly enough. We want to be aware and then counter it. The solar eclipse for our private lives is a wonderful time for us to transform, to let go of all of this old pattern stuff, that which is holding us back. This is really the time to step out, to transform, and to shine. And those of us who are really here for the spiritual movement forward, step up, step out, speak out, and give it your all, because this is the time for you. This is the time to really be heard in your communities, whatever that community is, whether it's here in rural Ohio where I am, or it's on the world stage where I occasionally get to step, fortunately. This is the week, and it's even growing in intensity. Let's see what Philip has to say. This is an oracle book, and Philip is my special spirit guide, and he loves to work with others. So if you want to work with Philip, please do that. But each page has a different wisdom on it. And what we do to get a message from Philip is we just flip through. And when the thumb says stop, we'll stop. So all of you out there, are you thinking right or left? Here we go, right or left. That doesn't quite feel right. So I'm going to do this again, but I'm going to read the right and left here. Okay, these are important messages, but I feel there's another message as well that we'll keep flipping. But I want to read these as well. You draw to you that which you dwell on, whether you dwell on happiness or fear. You dwell to you that which you dwell on, whether you dwell on happiness or fear. Please dwell on happiness. Please hold your families safe in love. Use your intuition if you know you need to move out of a space to stay safe. And here's the other one. You have a nice smile, give it away. You have a nice smile, give it away. And then I'm going to keep flipping because I think there's another message here. And I'm getting left. And that left message is solitude is the wellspring of creativity. Solitude is the wellspring of creativity. And let me tell you why that message is coming up. This is the time, and this is a paradoxical time that we're in. So those of us who need solitude are those who then must go out into the world and take what that solitude has given us, that wisdom that comes from the solitude, and take it out into the world and spread the nature of love, spread the truth of love. As we bond together in meditation, as we bond together in love, we can change the rhetoric. We can change the world. I don't know if you saw that butterfly that just flitted by. I'm not sure he came across the camera. But just as I said those words, a butterfly came. Each of us start changing this world by changing our own lives, by healing those old wounds that we keep repeating, those old patterns. And as we heal those old wounds and those old patterns, we then heal the world. I think our world will not go to war this week. But I will tell you that we are very close. And that hurts my heart. There's a lot of, in the U.S. is going through a major, major transformation, as are many countries. The U.S. is very unstable right now. The energy in the U.S. is not stable. So expect those changes. It does affect the weather. It does affect the weather patterns. And of course, it affects the world. We're going to get through this. And we're going to come out the other side more humane, more loving, kinder. We'll get through this, my friend. Easily? No. But start within your own lives to recognize what is important. Let go of that which isn't. So for this week, August the 13th to the 19th, I say thank you for being with me. I'm going to just be quiet for a moment after I tell you how much I love you, and to thank you for the love that you give to me, and just let you hear the birds singing, the cicadas singing. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for that which you add to our world. I love you. Thank you for feeling that love and accepting it. and thank you for loving me. Just listening. And as we listen, we breathe. And we surround the world in Spirit's healing light, sacred light of love.